Welcome to Contracted Driver Services. We are excited to work with you to find the perfect position to fit your needs, whether it's full-time, part-time, or casual. We would like to go over our policies and procedures to ensure your success at Contracted Driver Services. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We do have a 24-hour on-call dispatch for any after-hours accidents, incidents, or emergencies, or if you need job info for a current assignment. We have 3 office locations located in California, Texas, and our corporate office in Arizona. Timesheets and paydays. All timesheets are due to the payroll department each Monday by 8 a.m. Late or incomplete timesheets will not be processed for payment until the following payday. Timesheets must be filled out completely, including your name and information and the customer's name and address. If you are dispatched to different accounts during the same pay period, a separate timesheet must be filled out for each customer. Timesheets can be dropped off at the office, faxed, or emailed. It is your responsibility, not the customer's, to complete your timesheet and submit it to the payroll department on time. If you should need any timesheets, you may contact the payroll department directly. You have 3 options to receive your paycheck. You may either pick up your check at the corporate office, have your check mailed to you, or have it direct deposited directly into your checking or savings account. If you would like to enroll in direct deposit, please submit either a voided check or a direct deposit form to the payroll office. Accidents, incidents, injuries, and emergencies. If for any reason you are working and you're involved in any type of incident, accident, or injury, you must contact the safety department immediately. There are certain policies and safety procedures that we as a company must follow, and failure to report any type of incident or accident, no matter how minor, will result in immediate termination. Contracted Driver Services is your employer, and it is your responsibility to inform us of any accident or injury, not the customer's. Workers' compensation fraud. Contracted Driver Services does not tolerate workers' compensation fraud. If you have been injured on the job, your initial injury must be reported immediately to the safety department. Workers' compensation fraud is a crime which can lead to severe consequences, including immediate termination of employment, hefty fines, and serious jail time if convicted. Safety Conscious Incentive Program. If you've remained accident, incident, and injury-free in the last 30 days, effective at the first of each month, you will be entered into a drawing to win a free $50 Visa gift card. If you are involved in an accident, incident, or injury, you will have to wait 90 days in order to be eligible for the next drawing. If you have any questions, please contact our dispatch department directly. We would like to now show you a short video on value-driven driving.
Welcome to Great West Casualty Company's first installment of Stop Critical Crashes, Value-Driven Driving to Go. For those who have not had the opportunity to attend a value-driven driving seminar, you may be wondering what this program is all about. The main objective of our program is to allow drivers, dispatch, and management the opportunity to develop their own safe techniques. As you go through each segment, listen to the questions that are being asked and come up with your own answers as the program progresses. Becoming part of the process will help you better understand what is being discussed and how you can apply the concepts and ideas to your own driving technique. At the end of each segment is an interactive test. Before moving on to another segment, each question must be answered correctly. Enjoy the program. Those in the trucking industry know that professional truck drivers are decision makers. Decisions are frequent and fast. Some are split-second decisions with the possibility of serious loss or injury hanging in the balance. Studies have indicated that professional truck drivers make at least 160 decisions every mile. When you apply that rate to a 500-mile trip, it adds up to 80,000 decisions. In a week, that's over 500,000 decisions. In a month, over 2 million decisions. And in a year, over 24 million decisions will have been made by a professional truck driver. Professional truck drivers get a lot of help, a lot of direction, and a lot of advice on how to make those decisions. The trucking industry is a heavily regulated business, and there are thousands of regulations, rules, policies, and procedures designed to help guide the professional truck driver in making decisions. But in the end, it's the professional truck driver who ultimately must make the final decision. Given this, Great West created the Value-Driven Driving Program, a forum where professional truck drivers could gather to formulate observations about the decision-making process and how that process relates to safe driving. For those who have attended a Value-Driven Driving seminar, this program will serve as an excellent refresher. For those who have not had the opportunity to participate in a Value-Driven Driving seminar, this will serve as a summary of what is discussed as professional drivers address some of the most critical issues facing trucking today. One of the first discussions undertaken in the Value-Driven Driving seminar attempts to identify how decisions are made. What drives decisions? What's the foundation on which decisions are built? Many decisions are simply based on what is important at the moment. These decisions can be thought of as a response to a priority. A priority is something that is very important. When people talk about having a number one priority, it means that is the most important issue they presently have to deal with. But although priorities are deemed as being extremely important, they may change in importance as circumstances change. Imagine you're driving in heavy traffic on a multi-lane highway. Suddenly, up ahead there are brake lights in every lane. Traffic ahead is making an emergency stop. Obviously, the number one priority, the most important decision to make at the time, is to get stopped. Now, just as we come to a stop, traffic begins to move again, and traffic to the rear is bearing down on us. The new priority is suddenly to get moving. Although simplistic, this illustrates how priorities change as circumstances change. As we analyzed the decision-making process a little further, we found that in addition to priorities, there was another element involved in making decisions called values. Values are described as something having a deep influence on how we make decisions. Values can be defined as deeply held beliefs, principles, or convictions. In fact, values are so important that they are considered to be beyond compromise. Furthermore, those who hold these values are very reluctant to tolerate deviation. Professional drivers are value-driven. Drivers point out various values existing in the trucking industry, for example, wearing a safety belt. Professional truck drivers believe that wearing a safety belt while driving is an issue on which they do not compromise. Safety starts with the driver, so according to our value definition, wearing a safety belt while driving is a personal and professional value. After further discussion, drivers usually come to the conclusion that virtually all decisions are based on either priorities or values. The next step is to consider some of the real-life issues we have to deal with in our profession and decide if they are a priority or a value. Topics for consideration often include decisions about fuel economy, market share, honesty, truthfulness, trust, on-time delivery, responsibility, accountability, loyalty, profitability, regulations, company policies, self-interest, and professional integrity. Drivers often express some interesting, insightful, and thoughtful ideas as we sort through each topic. And in the end, everyone seems to settle on this conclusion. Although fuel economy, market share, on-time delivery, profit margin, regulations, company policies, and even self-interest are all very important, our professionals agreed these issues were all subject to change in importance given the right circumstances, and therefore were considered to be priorities. On the other hand, when it came to honesty, truth, trust, loyalty, responsibility, and accountability, it was unanimously held that these issues were at the core of a personal and professional value system that should define the character of the professional truck driver. The next task in the Value-Driven Driving seminar is to define what types of driving techniques should be practiced by professional truck drivers. Many ideas are offered and considered. In the end, 7 techniques emerge as essential as they encapsulate all of the other ideas. The essential 7 driving techniques agreed on are: 1. Maintain a proper following distance. 2. Keep the proper speed for conditions. 3. Be attentive to the road ahead. 4. Avoid all distractions. 5. Maintain one lane. 6. Yield the right-of-way. And 7. React properly to hazards. Drivers who consistently practice these techniques can be described as professional, highly motivated, dedicated, self-disciplined, courteous, caring, admired, leaders, safe, influential, intelligent, and protectors. The effect these techniques had on others includes making others feel safe, secure, comfortable, grateful, inspired, and protected. Next, we identify driving techniques that should not be practiced. In fact, most drivers state that these techniques should never be tolerated within the ranks of professional truck drivers. Among those offered are following too close, excessive speed, distractions, frequent lane changes, inattention, fatigue, and aggressiveness. The effect on others of this kind of driving is described as threatening and would make others feel endangered, intimidated, scared, or angry. The ultimate consequence of this kind of driving would be to cause crashes, producing serious injuries and even fatalities. Whereas driving like our professionals recommend, using their 7 essential driving techniques would serve to prevent crashes and protect lives. At the end of our seminar, we review the decision-making chart. After deliberating on the previous topics, drivers want to add protecting life as a value, as it should be something deeply held, something priceless, something beyond compromise. At this point, something very significant begins to happen. There is a principle of logic called syllogism. It simply states that if A is B and B is C, then A is C. Can this logic be applied to the points of agreement our professional drivers had reached and bring us to an absolute, undeniable, irrefutable conclusion? Let's review the essential 7 driving techniques. If driving like our professionals recommend protects life, and if protecting life is a value, then driving like our professionals recommend is a value. So we can add the essential 7 driving techniques to our list of professional values. Professional drivers are decision makers. Their decisions are driven by a set of professional values that include honesty, truth, trust, loyalty, responsibility, accountability, and protecting lives by practicing the essential 7 driving techniques. Remember, our highways will only become safer when each of us individually makes a commitment to safety. As professional truck drivers, we must lead the way and give those around us an example to follow. We must lead by utilizing proven protective driving techniques reinforced by the essential 7. Finally, at the end of your next trip, take a moment to reflect. Think about all the moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, friends, neighbors, and strangers that safely made it home again because of the decisions you made. Think about all the teenagers that are going to keep being teenagers for a while because of the decisions you made. Think of the children and babies that will grow up to be everything they can be because of the decisions you made.
Dispatch. The Contracted Driver Services Dispatch Department is available to you 24 hours a day. Dispatch is here to help you with directions, paperwork, or any other tools you may need to get your job done. Drivers, it is your responsibility to call dispatch to let them know your availability. If dispatch does not know you are available, they will not know to dispatch you. No call, no shows. Contracted Driver Services has a strict policy on no call, no shows. If you accept a run from dispatch, please commit to your obligations. No call, no shows are grounds for immediate termination and is not tolerated. If an emergency does occur, please give dispatch at least 3 hours notice. Tools needed for the job. Logs are to be maintained by the drivers and must be their sole responsibility. The Safety Department mandates that all drivers comply with the log and hours of service regulations set forth by the FMCSR. Should you have any questions on logs or hours of service, please contact the Safety Department directly. Part of the tools that you may need in order to perform your job properly may include gloves, safety vest, and closed-toed shoes. Some customers require special clothing such as steel-toe boots or uniforms. Please ask dispatch if the job has any specific requirements, and always remember to dress properly for the job. You are not only working, but also representing contracted driver services. Unemployment. It is important that you keep us updated and return our calls to you regarding your availability and work offered to you. If you are on an assignment that ends, it is your responsibility to contact Contracted Driver Services to let us know and update us with your current availability. Failure to do so could delay or deny any unemployment benefits. Communication is the key. In order to stay active, you must work at least one time in a 30-day period. All violations, citations, inspections, or changes in driver's license statuses need to be reported to safety immediately. Equipment and job issues. Please stay in contact with dispatch on any difficulties that you may experience while working. If there are delivery or equipment problems, report this to dispatch immediately. They will respond promptly and assist with solving any errors or occurrences. It is very important that you are properly conducting your pre- and post-trip inspections of the equipment that you are operating. This equipment is not only used by you, but other drivers, and Contracted Driver Services wants to ensure you are operating safe equipment at all times. This will require your help by completing your pre- and post-trip inspections. Customer satisfaction. Please make sure that you are providing great customer service on all positions that you are assigned to. Contracted Driver Services puts forth their best efforts to find you the best position possible. Please make sure that you are making every effort to do your best in return and to show our customers the best you can be.